Hello, Candace.
Hello, Scott.
I have a question for you.
What's your question?
What was your favorite Disney thing the first time you went?
Walking into Magic Kingdom and seeing the castle for the first time.
Tell me more about that experience.
So I can honestly say that that is one of those moments where, like, you imagine how it's going to be because you see it on TV and you see it on movies and, you know, all the other times when you see it. But until you're actually there seeing it, there's nothing like it.
Right. And that's one of those things where you wish you could do something again for the first time.
Yes.
Which
is why I love going with people on their first time so that I can see that in them.
Right. Right. So for me, I think the first thing, my favorite thing from the first time we went to Disney that I remember going to Disney. So this isn't Disneyland like when I was little.
Okay.
It's the first time we went on one of those land and sea cruises, like my first time at Disney World.
Okay. Yeah.
So I think this is going to sound really weird. Well, maybe not. My favorite part was seeing you in your happy place.
Okay.
Like when we had our disagreement over the map and which way to go, I look back on that so fondly because you were in your element.
Yes.
You knew what you wanted. It was not the first time I saw kind of that strength in you, but the first time I saw you kind of say, no, I'm right. Shut up and follow me or don't. If you want to go the wrong direction, I will let you, but I'm going this way. Mm-hmm. That was just amazing. Just amazing. So, two-part kind of opening question, though. What is your favorite Disney thing now?
I would say all of it as a simple answer, but that's not true because there is some of it that I definitely don't like.
Right.
I would have to say just thinking back to all the experiences that we have had on our Disney vacations and knowing how much more there is to explore and discover.
Yep. I agree with that. And I would basically what you just captured is memories plus knowing that there's more to come.
Mm-hmm. And honestly, I don't know that we're ever going to be able to say that we've done everything.
No. I think if you live local, you don't ever sort of get to do it all.
No.
Because some things, like, we'll probably get into this a little bit, but some of the things you just don't want to do.
Right.
So why do things you don't want to do?
Exactly.
We're going to dig into this a little bit more throughout the whole episode because this episode is all about how we plan differently for trips now than when we first started going.
It has been an evolution.
It has been. And I think to answer kind of my favorite part now is the detail and connecting with the brand. Mm-hmm. Is much more for me. It used to be a thing to do. Now it's a thing to experience.
Tell me more about that.
For me, it used to be a let's go do Disney World. Let's go. It was the rides. It was the attractions. Now it's I'm just comfortable. I'm happy. I'm enjoying the experience of the immersiveness of the whole thing. It's not about moving from thing to thing to thing. It's about just being in the moment.
I'm impressed.
Why?
Because I brought you over to the dark side.
That's too funny. That's too funny. So we're going to dig into these deep thoughts like this is a therapy session.
Okay.
So grab yourself a drink, or if you're sitting at your desk, sit back, grab yourself a cup of coffee, and just enjoy the rest of this one. Hey, welcome to Hanging at the Hangar Bar. I'm Scott.
And I'm Candace. We're here to chat all things Disney as child-free Disney adults. Stories, snacks, and a little magic along the way.
Grab a drink and get comfy and come hang out with us. Okay, so Candace, in the open for this episode, we talked a little bit about what our favorite things were, both past and present. Mm-hmm. So in this episode today, we're going to talk all about how our park planning has changed.
Okay.
Let me say this, how our vacation planning has changed. Because
Okay.
I don't think we need to stick just to the parks.
No.
I think we can talk about how our vacation planning around Disney has changed in the 20 years that we've been going to Disney together.
I agree.
Right? So I think let's start with how we used to plan.
Okay.
You think back to your first trip and then the next trip after that. So we're talking 20, 25 years ago. That general area. Early 2000s.
Like my very first trip or our first trip?
Your very first trip.
Okay, so we're like 28 years, almost 30.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
So what were you obsessed with planning then? What were your things that you obsessively had to plan early in your Disney life?
So that trip was an interesting one because I was graciously taken along as a child wrangler.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have to do any of the planning. I had to have enough money for spending money on any souvenirs that I wanted to buy. But aside from that, that's all I had to do.
Okay.
So I really didn't have to plan anything. I didn't even know what I was looking at as far as what could be planned because I'd never been there. I'd never really thought about going before. I mean, yeah, a kid from the Midwest, you hear, oh, Disney World, fantastic. I had no idea. No idea walking into that, what I was getting into.
Yeah. So on our first trip where you had to actually do some planning, what were some of the things that you really obsessed over? Or let me phrase that question in a clear way. What were the things you planned obsessively early on in your Disney life?
I think because of how the reservations and things like Lightning Lane and stuff like that has changed since those times, fast passes used to be a thing that you could plan ahead of time. And that was definitely something that I did because I wanted us to experience all the attractions that we could. Also, dining reservations and just kind of an outline of how the park was going to be because I knew how big they were and I knew what a waste of time tracking back and forth was just from that very first trip.
Right.
And I knew that things like being in the right place for a dining reservation without having to haul all the way across the park again
Right.
is a good strategy.
Right.
So things like that, I think it was more time and place related rather than actual things.
Were there little details that you thought that really mattered to the success of a trip? Like for me, I'm thinking when we first started going, getting from place to place was really important to me. Like understanding how, like the first time I went with you, it was a land and sea package that they used to do. And I remember obsessing about how do we get to the cruise port? Like before we even left, like how do you get there? How do you get from the airport to the resort? Where is it in relation to everything else? Like that is really the things that I obsessed over in our early days of going to Disney. Are there little things like, and I say that's probably not a little thing, but it's still a little thing.
In the grand scheme, it's a tiny thing.
Right.
But it's a very important tiny thing.
Right. Are there things in our early trips that you remember that you obsessed on, that you really focused in on and said, this is what's going to make this trip successful? Take your professional planner hat off and think how you were 25 years ago.
So with that very first trip that I ever took there, like the person that did the planning on the trip was typical, like spreadsheet, every detail was mapped out. So I kind of went into it thinking that's how you had to do it.
Okay.
So I was very, very like detailed down to annoyance level
Right.
of focus on that first trip.
You have to leave your resort at this exact time.
Yes.
And yes.
Yes. And thank heavens I'm not like that anymore. Because when then things don't go according to that, then I get a little nuts.
Right.
But
that even goes back to what I talked about in the open, where you knew we had places to be. If we went the wrong direction, it was gonna throw off your groove.
yes, it was throwing off my groove.
Right.
Yes, exactly.
So all of our planning was about making sure we knew where our groove was.
And following the groove.
Right. And making sure we didn't vary or veer from that. So let's flip that question. What are some things that you maybe focused on early in our Disney career that you don't even think about when you're planning today?
Well, fast passes are no longer a thing.
They've moved to lightning lanes. So
Right. Which Disney has kind of taken all of the control out of that element, in my opinion. So that's not even a thing really for me anymore.
And that's kind of us being more go with the flow kind of. It's not about getting on the attractions and skipping lines as much as it used to be. There's going to be times when I'm going to want fast passes again, I'm sure of it. But the last couple trips we've gone, it hasn't been a priority.
No.
And that's because of like how the lightning lanes work, and then it ties you to a certain part of the park at a certain time. And I know you like to not bounce back and forth, and lightning lanes really set it up almost where you have to bounce back and forth. Disney wants you to spend your time walking, not standing in lines.
Right.
And that's the thing. I've said this in the past before. If you are using lightning lanes and you're bouncing around, you are spending just as much time walking to that next lightning lane as I am standing in line waiting for that attraction. So you may get to walk by me for a minute, but my guess is the people walking by me right as I get to the choke point have already been walking for 10 or 15 or 20 minutes while I've been in line. So it's really not saving you that much time.
It's not saving time, and I think and we've talked about this before as well, I think it's pulling you out of the story.
Right.
Because if your sole purpose is to get on the actual ride part of the attraction and get it out of the way so you can say, ooh, I did it, well, you're missing half of what it's meant to be.
Right. Okay, let's get back to the question. That was a squirrel moment.
Okay.
What do you barely think about now that you used to kind of really focus in on?
The how.
The how. I would agree with that. Do you know what it is for me? Park opening and park closing times.
Okay.
I don't even think about it until we're there.
It just is what it is.
Yeah. Like so much. So let me give an example. When I did my solo day when we went for Christmas.
And I was sick.
And you were sick. On my solo day, I thought so little about timing of things. I knew what time Animal Kingdom opened, and I knew I wanted to start there, so I got myself to Animal Kingdom. And I'm like, okay, I'm going over to Hollywood Studios next. I had no idea that you couldn't park hop till a certain time. Buses for park hopping didn't start until about an hour after I wanted to be at the next park. Didn't even cross my mind. Like park opening, bus running times, I just go and they're there. So like I had to I wasn't going to go back into Animal Kingdom because by the time I did something else in Animal Kingdom, it would have thrown off my groove. You know what I mean? So I just ended up Ubering, and the guy was laughing at me because I was taking an Uber to another park. He's like, did you come to the wrong park this early in the morning? I'm like, nope, just didn't realize the buses weren't running. So apparently it happens a lot, or enough people go to the wrong park that then have to Uber to another park that
makes me sad.
Right. But that's one of those things that I just don't really think about anymore that I used to obsess over is what time were buses going to be there? What time did I have to be at the bus stop? What time does the park open? All of those kind of things used to be things that were front and center of my brain, not just an afterthought.
Well, and to be fair, normally we're together, and I'm the one that takes all that information in and has all of it.
Yes.
So you don't have to think about it as long as you're with me and you know we're going to be in the right place on time.
Right. Which means 15 to 20 minutes early.
100%.
Okay, is there anything else that you can think of that like you just don't even think about now that used to be something really important to you?
No.
Okay. What's just a quick rapid fire, what's one thing you really misunderstood about Disney on your early trips?
Misunderstood.
Yeah, let me give you the example that popped into my head for that question.
Okay.
I misunderstood just how much walking there is.
Oh, 100%. Like the size of the parks?
Right.
Yes.
And how and I think I also misunderstood that it's not so much the walking, it is the standing that kills your feet. So having an understanding of not only do you have to have comfortable walking shoes, but you have to have comfortable standing shoes.
And those are not always
Right.
the
Not
same
always
pair
the
of
same.
shoes.
Right. And as a poo-sized individual, standing tends to cause more issues than walking for me. So that's something I completely misunderstood, and I kind of plan differently now because of it. So that's my example. Do you have something?
I mean, in a way, I think back in, when we were first getting started with all of this, I think the concept of park hopping sounds so easy and so much fun, and like you don't even have to think about it. But
Right.
there's a lot of thought and a lot of pre-planning and a lot of timing that you have to get very, very right in order for that to be successful.
Yep.
Which I think is a large reason why we don't do it.
Right. Yeah. We just say one park per day. The one time I wanted to park hop was because I set a goal to go to multiple parks in the same day. I wouldn't have done that if it weren't a solo day
Well,
where I needed a goal.
and we've done it before, like for dining reservations and after hours and things like that. But that's in a different realm
Right.
than just, I want to go to this other park.
Right. I'm going to spend my morning in Magic Kingdom and my afternoon in Epcot.
Exactly.
But I would say if you're going to park hop, that's one of the ways to do it is I'm going to go over to Magic Kingdom in the morning and hop over to Epcot to do World Showcase in the afternoon. But saying that you're going to do both parks all in one day, no. I'm going to go hit Adventureland and Fantasyland in the morning, and then I'm going to go spend my afternoon and evening in World Showcase. That's how park hopping probably is at its most efficient, instead of I'm going to try and do it all.
Yep.
So what's actually changed for us since then? And I'm not looking to like create a checklist for people or anything like that. This is more of a discussion. How is our planning changed, or how have we changed how we plan for going to Disney?
So I think I've noticed in the past few trips that we've taken that things are going a lot lower key than they ever have before. Like, and when I said that I was bringing you over to the dark side, I 100% meant that, because I've been one of those people that I'm just happy being there. I'm happy noticing the details. I'm happy listening to the ambient music. I'm happy people watching. I'm happy sitting on a bench. That's all I need, and I'm perfectly happy. Maybe a snack too, but you know what I mean. And I don't have to constantly be moving or on something or whatever. That has changed for us. Because I've been that way for a long, long time. You're getting there.
Right. I still fight with the need to not just sit for an hour unless there's something to do while we're sitting.
Right.
But that's just me as a person. I'm not a good sitter. Like, just to give people an example, like when I'm just sitting around doing nothing on a Saturday afternoon, there's usually some kind of sports ball on the TV. I'm playing with my computer and my phone at the same time. My brain just kind of works in that circle.
It hurts.
So, like, taking the time to kind of pause. The only time I truly feel like I slow down and pause is when we're in the ocean.
And you're a good sitter around her
On the beach.
on beach days and sea days.
Right. So, yeah. But when there's so much to do at Disney, I still fight with myself over, okay, what are we going to do next? And maybe that what are we going to do next has shifted from attraction to let's go hang out in Adventureland instead of on Main Street. Like, let's go get a Dole Whip and explore over there versus let's just hang out on a bench in Main Street. So, like, I think my priority has shifted to where it doesn't have to be jump from attraction to attraction to attraction. It's more like just keeping my mind engaged because there's so much to see and do, and that FOMO is real.
Right.
Like, what am I missing out on because we're sitting on this bench? That's where my brain goes.
Right.
So, yeah.
But I've also grown enough in my fandom, if you will, and my comfort on being in the parks by myself, that if there's something that you want to go do that I don't, I'm like, come find me when you're done,
Yeah, go have fun.
which is cool.
Yeah.
I don't know if I ever saw myself being like that when, back in the day, but I'm all about it now. Like,
Yeah, you wouldn't do that if we were vacationing in Chicago, but you would do that if we were vacationing in Disney World.
100%.
Okay, how do we plan differently for dining? Because I feel like we do. And I know we've talked a lot about how we're not really dining plan enthusiasts anymore and why that changed. So I don't necessarily want to relitigate that. But what else has changed about the way we dine around Disney World?
We definitely look more for experiences that we haven't had before.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, there are always going to be those favorite places that we have, like Stan Helen's and Garden Grill and some of those places that we know that we're going to get consistent quality and service and that kind of thing. And I
Right.
think that's the thing that we look for rather than the kitschy Disney experience.
Right. Yeah, I think we really hone in on the service aspect of it.
Mm-hmm.
We tend to go back to places where we have great service experiences.
Mm-hmm.
And then we get disappointed if we don't get that same level of service experience. But that's us setting ourselves up for failure. Because every now and then you just run across that server that's just next level.
Right.
And you can't expect, you get good service still, but you can't expect everybody to be next level.
Well, that's your opinion.
You can't expect everybody to be Francisco and just like move 2 tables just so they can pull our table over. 2 tables with people sitting at them so they could move us over so we would have a better view of the fireworks.
Fair point.
You can't expect that out of everybody.
You can, but be prepared for disappointment.
Right. You shouldn't expect that out of everybody.
Okay.
This is a fight Candace and I have all the time about what constitute good versus exceptional and how not everything can be exceptional.
It should be.
Because if everything is exceptional, nothing is exceptional.
That's not true. If everything is exceptional, everything is.
So, have we changed at all how we think about the restaurants we go to?
I think so. I think I don't know how to say this without sounding braggy.
So sound braggy. We've talked a lot how we come at this from a place of privilege quite often.
Okay, so coming at it from a place of privilege and a larger place of privilege than we've ever come at it before in our journey, I think we tend to look towards some of the more expensive places to eat.
We do.
Okay. So that has definitely changed because it used to be like when we were using the dining plan, we only went to some of the places that we went to because it was on the dining plan.
And we weren't going to have to pay for it.
And we weren't going to have to pay for it. Now it's sort of a look at the menu. Do we want to try it? Let's go.
Right, right. And we keep talking about wanting to become food booth people at festivals.
And we just never do.
We can't figure out how because we love that good sit-down dining experience.
And I almost feel like, and we've probably talked about this in the past with park planning and things like that, I almost feel like you need at least one sit-down meal during the course of a day to just kind of redirect, refocus, reconnect, and relax.
Right.
And for us, that's usually dinner.
Yes. Okay, so thinking about festivals, we've been to several festivals now.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the festival time we've spent has been at Food and Wine.
Mm-hmm.
But recency has been more holidays and Festival of the Arts.
Mm-hmm.
Do we do the festivals any different than we used to?
I don't think we figured it out yet.
Yeah, I would agree with that 100%. Like, we have not figured out how to do a festival.
Right.
We've been to 6 festivals
Mm-hmm.
over the years,
Mm-hmm.
and I still feel like we haven't learned the right lessons.
I think the Festival of the Arts, when we were there for that, I think that was the closest that we've ever come to actually doing a festival the way, in my mind, we should be doing a festival.
Okay, tell me more about that.
Where we actually visited some of the food booths and shared some of the options and didn't just rely solely on restaurant food and that kind of thing. However, where I think we didn't learn our lesson appropriately is that we still had dining reservations for sit-down restaurants, just rather than fully relying on
Right.
food booth
Right.
stuff.
Yeah, agreed. And I don't know why we haven't figured that out. Is maybe we're just not food booth festival-y people.
I think we almost had to have it proven to us by ourselves that there is enough. Like, it's not just all snacky food. Like, you can build substantial meals out of the stuff from the food booths.
Right.
And I don't think we've ever really leaned into that belief before. but we can totally do it.
Yeah, I think we could. And I think you're right, though, about the sit-down location. Eating, we don't do this, but like that trope of eating off of a trash can.
No.
It just, even the tables that they have sitting around, or if they don't have tables, finding a bench and having to eat while you're sitting on a bench. I don't like picnics. So why would I want to go spend a day in the Florida sun basically having a glorified picnic?
Of mass-produced food.
Right.
Yes.
I wonder if that's why I'm struggling with festivals.
Maybe. Because you're fine to, like, on the rare occasion that it's not a festival, or even if it is and we just go to, like, a quick service stand, you're fine to just grab something and find a place quickly to sit down and snack away.
Right. You think about Casey's Corner or the one over in Tomorrowland. What's the name of that one? The quick service place in Tomorrowland.
Cosmic Rays?
Yeah, Cosmic Rays. I didn't mind that because you're picking up your cheeseburger or your hot dog or whatever, and you're sitting down at a table. Mm-hmm. It doesn't feel so picnicky.
Fair point.
So maybe we just need to do a better job of scoping out tables and having one of us run and get food to come back to the table.
Well, and also, and I understand why they don't have chairs at every single table at Epcot. I understand. But for me, standing at a table and eating is kind of what I would envision a farm animal eating out of a trough.
Right.
Is.
Yes. Yes, 100%.
I don't like it.
Right. Yeah. Okay, so as we think about wrapping up this episode, this one I meant to be a little bit shorter for us just because it's a pretty heavy topic with lots of thought. But as we think about this, what we've been talking about, what are some things that we've let go in our Disney careers? Our Disney lives. Like, what are some things that maybe used to feel mandatory? What are some things that maybe cause more stress instead of joy that we've said, you know what, we're not going to do that anymore?
I think a couple of the big things that we have kind of given up on is following the guidance of influencers.
Yes.
And having to eat a particular snack and having to be at a particular location and having to have your picture taken in front of a particular wall. And maybe even getting on an attraction our first time there when it's been open. Just that stuff doesn't matter.
Right.
Because it's not us. If we get it, fine. If not, fine. But we have very much grown into the making Disney work for us, not us working for Disney.
100%. I love the way you said that. This year, I think we've mentioned it several times in the first few episodes, is making sure you make Disney what you want it to be. Mm-hmm. Because Disney has the responsibility to offer so much because they have so many different kinds of people coming that not everything is going to be for you. Mm-hmm. Not everything is going to be for them. And I think in general, early in our Disney careers, and you see it a lot, the people that get upset at Disney are the ones that feel like everything should be made for them because of the money they're spending. Mm-hmm. And I think we've let go of that. I think that was probably us a little bit early on of, no, every experience has to be tailored for me. And that service experience didn't go well, not because it was because of the service. It wasn't because it just wasn't my vibe. Mm-hmm. Sometimes if you walk into something and it's not your vibe, fantastic service isn't going to save it.
No, you're still going to have a bad time. Well, not necessarily a bad time, just not as good a time as you could have
right.
if it was your vibe.
Right. Yeah, so I think we've given up on trying to... That's another way to say I think we've really given up on trying to do it all.
Mm-hmm. And we do what we want because it's our vacation, and we're finally realizing that.
Right.
That even though, yes, we are paying $150 a day to be in the parks, our value is where we find it, not
right.
where Disney or anybody else tells us where we should find it.
Yep, 100%. So what is one, and I think we've been talking about this a lot, but let's just verbalize it. What is one mindset shift that's changed everything for you regarding Disney?
As long as I'm happy, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. For me, it's requiring myself to keep moving.
Okay.
Like, you even look at our 2019 trip with Lacey and Lariah.
Okay.
How much time did we spend as we walked through, oh, that's only a 10-minute wait, or, oh, that's only a 5-minute wait, or, oh, that's only a 20-minute wait, and, like, trying to get on to everything, not thinking about, okay, what's the overall experience that I'm going for? I prioritize the overall experience versus the immediate experience now.
Right. But to be fair, when you're talking about that particular trip, that was Lariah's first trip.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we were kind of playing host in that situation where we wanted her to feel as much of the magic as possible so that she would love it as much as we do.
Right.
And but now, I mean, we haven't traveled with people that didn't know what was going on for a good number of trips.
Yeah.
And most of the time it's just us. So it is what it is.
Yeah. And I think, like, going back and thinking about that trip with Lacey and Lariah, there's probably some things we would do differently there.
100%.
Like, I still feel guilty that we missed the Tiki Birds.
Same.
Because we didn't spend enough time saying, what are the things you really want to do?
Right.
I think we did a lot of, here's what we love about Disney, so we're going to force you into this. Versus, how do you want to experience Disney, and we'll experience it through you. Mm-hmm. That's probably how I would do that trip a little bit differently.
Mm-hmm. Or sit down, we're going to make a list, talk through it, and then make our plan.
Right. Yeah. Interesting. So I think the overall theme of this episode has been, folks, if you're listening, it's okay to do less. Mm-hmm. I still think, and I've talked about this a couple times recently, I can't remember if it's always been on the show or with other people, but I still find a lot of value in Disney. Yes, it's $150 per person for a park ticket. Mm-hmm. But if you do the math on that over the course of a 12-hour day,
it's not that much.
You are getting a lot of value out of that just being in the parks without getting on a single attraction. Mm-hmm. Not to mention, you get all of the attractions that you can get on. Mm-hmm. You get the theming, the storytelling. You get all of that to go along with it. Yes, it's getting more expensive, as everything is, but it's still a good value. Mm-hmm. So be okay to be like, I don't have to maximize and get my lowest cost per dollar.
And I think that's a big thing, is understanding the difference between experiential value and monetary value.
Right. That's such a great point.
Like, no. If you pay $150 to get in Animal Kingdom and you spend 90% of your time at Nomad Lounge, that's not a cost-effective way to spend your day.
Most expensive cover charge ever.
I will tell you, the experience behind that is gold.
Right. You will remember that day as one of your favorite park days forever.
Yes.
Because we had first time at Tiffin's, mm-hmm. and then we went and spent 2 or 3 hours at Nomad Lounge, just chilling and hanging out with friends. Okay, so Candace, last thing before we wrap this one up. As we close out this episode, is there one piece of advice you would give to your first trip self from back in the late 90s?
Yes, and I think that one piece would be find your things that you really love and that speak to your soul, and have those be on your to-do list forever, because a lot is going to change. Like, you can't ever expect 2 trips to be the same ever, because so much changes. And I think it's just really important to grab onto those things that speak to your soul and make you happy and make Disney Disney, including the cast members. But I think that keeping those few things really close is important. So I think that's it, though. So, friends, we alluded to this a little bit on our last episode, but we have set up a Discord and we have put links in our social media feeds. I can repost it again. We'll also add it to show notes. But please come out and join us on Discord. We've got some conversations started a little bit, but we want your input and we want your participation. We are also on Facebook, Instagram, and Reddit, so come find us there. Let us know what you want to hear on the show, and let us know how we can add more magic to your life.
And remember, there is always a great, big, beautiful tomorrow.
And of course, we'll see you real soon.